Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons: The Second Age. How are you all doing?
Pretty good.
Great.
Excellent.
I'm tired.
Tired.
I'm
Aren't
tired.
we
I'm
all?
tired.
Same.
So, without further ado, who wants to tell me the story of what happened the last time we played?
So, last time we started with... Did we start with our presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
So we started with our presentation to the Wizards College in Argentellorand to set up our joint effort, mostly funded by us because it's our idea, to experiment with spell creation.
Correct.
And we got decent reception. We had a few questions. The head of divination was extremely interested in the potential of this, because we obviously specifically mentioned we want some sort of long-range detection thing, which is very much his sort of school of interest. And yeah, we got a lot of interest from him. And obviously we left them to discuss it. We knew it would take a few days for them to reach a final decision, and in that waiting time, we were grabbed by, or Elizabeth was grabbed by what's her name again? Professor Emmy Lauren.
Amy Lauren, yes.
Emmy Lauren, who wanted to cut a bit of a deal to vote for us. Basically, she wants more funding for the abjuration department because she's only the acting head, and she doesn't want this job. So she wants more funding to the abjuration department so that they can actually do some stuff and get more attention. And with that attention, hopefully they'll get an actual proper head appointed. Which, I'm pretty sure we all agreed, would have been incredibly suspicious, except for the fact that she didn't want the job.
I'm still suspicious.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little.
But we all agreed that it was like, less suspicious because she didn't want the job. She was just like, let me go back to my old job, please. I enjoyed that. I don't enjoy this. So we agreed. We spoke to Lydia Felkir about using her voice to advocate for increased funding, but of course that's not the kind of thing that's going to happen overnight. So we got her vote by agreeing, and yeah, off we went with experimenting alongside the college, and things went pretty well, right up until we hit a roadblock, where essentially, in order to even get this spell working, we're going to need some sort of catalyst to amplify our magics to enable us to even cast it in the first place, simply because of the scale of the thing. So we have begun looking into different catalysts that we could use. Professor Oakenlock, who is the divination head, has gone to speak with the head of enchantment to try and see if we can get gemstones as catalysts, just ordinary gemstones. Grim has given Puck the role of searching for some sort of catalyst on our behalf as well, while at the same time giving him a very important piece of information that no one else knows, which could have disastrous consequences. We'll just have to see. And Elizabeth asked her Djinni parent if there would be any sort of catalyst on the elemental planes, as we theorized that, being the elemental planes, they might house something that is of more potent for our uses. And they came over and visited, and yes, they explained that there is something that they could use, but of course, navigating the elemental plane of air is going to be quite incredibly difficult, on top of the fact that if we get spotted, things, might not go too well, because we do not want to be drawing too much attention from the other Djinni. So we've taken their advice, and we're keeping that as a sort of last-ditch attempt, sort of the final option. And I believe we left off with Elizabeth Parent having a sort of final word with the party without Elizabeth.
Well, technically, we ended on you guys all had a
Okay.
meal with
Yeah.
Khadija, and then Khadija departed,
Yeah.
saying, "Let me know if you decide that the Ætrine is the source that you want to go for. You should let them know, and they'll try and help where they can."
Exactly. And yeah, that's where we left off. We're now just basically waiting for news from our other sources. Again.
Well, we're kind of waiting. Well, we did also decide to actually go to the plane of air, right? Did we?
No, I just said we decided that that's like our final option. Like if nothing else works, because it's risky.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I think at the end you actually decided that it was the better option of the thing, given the information
Yeah.
that the others had, not Elizabeth, about the fact that it. Well, no, actually, I think he mentioned it. Oh, they mentioned it to you as well. That it would make it so that only you, or like, it would make it harder for other people to be able to use it for nefarious purposes.
Oh yeah, of course, because I wasn't actually. I quickly nipped away during a large chunk of the private conversation.
Oh.
Yes.
To be fair, I
Would we-
think that was mentioned before the private conversation because that was
Yeah.
part of the wider discussion of.
I think we went
how-
more into detail during the private conversation, but yes.
Yeah. It was.
I think, to Elizabeth, it's sort of the last ditch thing, but the rest of them are starting to think that perhaps it's the better idea.
Well, either way, we'd need some way for reliable plane of air transportation.
Yes.
And although the Djinni have airships, we don't really want to try and, like I said, we don't want the Djinni getting involved, or even knowing we're there. So, trying to get one of their airships is going to be impossible without getting their attention. So we need more ways of flying.
So, I guess we then pick up with the next day after the feast, or the small feast.
Yeah. Slightly fancier than normal dinner.
And I guess, it's up to you guys, but I presume you want to convene at some point to discuss your options.
That would make sense.
Yes. Well, clearly, considering that it wasn't clear for Elizabeth, we should definitely do so.
Yeah. Okay. So you convene in the war room.
Well. So, well, well, unless there's any objections, I believe us heading to the elemental plane of air is the only actual course of action that we have.
At the moment, at least.
Yes, but the problem is, like, we're investing a lot of time into this project, and we don't have a lot to spare, or at least every minute spent is a minute we put the world in danger.
I suppose you have a point there.
And considering it's the only one that we really have any sort of concrete information on, it's probably our best bet.
If during the final prep we get interrupted, then, well, we can always just abort, but
Because also,
seems unlikely.
It's also out of character. We still don't have an attuned fork for the elemental plane of air.
You do not.
We don't have any means of travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I suppose I can stay in character and Elizabeth's just going to say like, well, if you guys really want to go there, there's going to be two important things we need. A, the way to actually get to the elemental plane of air, so we're going to need the attuned fork. And B, we're going to need some form of reliable transport for when we get there, which means we're going to need to be able to fly.
Well, in terms of getting a tuned fork, could your parrot not help us with that? Perhaps?
Yeah.
That seems like the most surefire and probably safest way for them to get involved in helping us.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
could. They very much would be able to help with... Well, to help with that.
Like, yeah, that
I'm
seems...
still concerned about them, because obviously, you know... So that'd be a bit of back and forthing for them.
Well,
Obviously, we'd have to let them know, which means that they'd have to come here, take a fork off me, go back, tune it, and then come back again to give it to us, and then go back.
well, unless they can find one there, and then we can compensate them.
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh,
Well,
I see.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
reimburse them
Yeah,
for
okay.
their investment. Although, considering who it is, like, I'm not sure they would accept it, depending on how well they're off.
But yeah, there's that option. There's the same way we got the one for the Shadowfell as an option, but obviously who knows how that'll go, and that'll still take time because we have to get the college's approval to do that experiment, and who knows.
Yeah, there is a lot involved.
But either way, I feel like the most effective way for us to have decent transport once we're in there would be to get a scroll of flying. Because if I can cast flying, that'd probably be the easiest way for us to get around.
But, like, the only issue I have is that flying is not magic is not exactly a long-term solution. 'Cause I doubt that's going to last us more than a day, is it?
True. Well, then we're going to need some other form of more reliable transport.
Well, actually,
Fly lasts for exactly 10 minutes.
Oh.
yeah,
Rip us.
that would be a real quick in and out adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna need something.
Well, we have something, although it's not quite enough yet. Because Kelariis, you had the Griffin.
Correct.
Was it Griffin?
Yes.
Yes. That should probably be able to carry two of us.
And thinking of it, I do still have. That's not super reliable though, because it only lasts an hour.
Honestly, my first instinct is a terrible one.
What was your
What
first
is it?
instinct?
Say we could tame that potential dragon.
Oh my god.
No.
Tame
I don't
a
think
dragon.
flying a white dragon is
It
a good
wouldn't-
idea.
It wouldn't be subtle, but if we could pull it off, I bet it could lift. It could carry us around.
I would not want
No
to
one's-
mess with something like that.
No one's seen a dragon in centuries, and you want to try and tame one that is.
That is seemingly helping out another organization that has already been tamed.
Well, we don't know if it's even been tamed. For all we
We don't
know,
even
it
know
could-
if it's real.
That's
Not
true.
only that, but it could be the one that's in charge.
Yeah.
That
And-
is the other option.
And let's not forget, of course, it's a chromatic, so it's not likely to be very friendly.
Regardless, I don't like the idea of taming something that intelligent and sentient.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
It's
it would be more of
having a
a
slave.
it would be more of a negotiation.
Fair, but I do still think it is a bad idea in this case.
Yeah.
But the idea that we could perhaps find a flying creature that would be willing to aid us doesn't seem like the worst.
Definitely
No.
better than spells at this point, it seems.
Yeah, if we could find a creature that would be willing to help us, that's probably a good thing.
Arya,
be-
can't you summon creatures? Oh, doesn't last very long.
Yes. I don't know how long it lasts, and I don't know if they can fly.
Hang on.
Fair point.
Hold on.
I also realize I don't think that's will last particularly long.
Yeah, my only methods of obtaining a flying creature would last us an hour at most.
Mm.
Um,
Is there anybody anywhere in the kingdom, or just in all the kingdoms, that is known for their giant griffins, perhaps, or
magic of the air.
Great.
or
Well-
similar problems?
Or do you want to go chasing down a slightly friendlier type of dragon?
Well, I was more like, I don't know if
Yeah.
any, like, I'm sure we're not the first ones to have this silly idea, but perhaps the others have failed. So, but
Well,
yes.
considering things like flying monsters like griffins, hippogriffs, etc., are generally monstrosities, they generally just hunt and kill. They're not really very often tamed. There are places out in the wild mountain regions where these creatures still live and hunt, but you'd definitely be going into sort of uncharted territory with that.
That would be a challenge for for Arya.
I say,
My song or my spell only lasts for an hour.
your conjure one, yes.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, I will say, from the stories that Khadija has taught you, or has told you, you do know that there are a number of, well, perhaps obviously, flying denizens within the elemental
Yeah.
plane of air, not all of them intelligent.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are definitely creatures that exist there that might be able to carry
Yeah.
you.
I guess there's one question that we haven't answered yet.
It's
What
Fanart.
happens if we can't fly? Do we just fall forever?
I don't know. I don't know what the elemental plane
You
of
know
air
what?
is like.
Let's just never find out.
Well, like, let's imagine, like, if we just don't fall but float, that would be helpful. And we could just have, like, all just hang on a rope out behind
Okay, but if
the griffin.
Again, from Khadija's stories, you get the feeling that there are like solid pieces of land at least somewhere, because Khadija has told you about like the buildings in the city that they live in.
yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah,
I
but
get the feeling it's lots of floating islands,
yeah.
which means we could probably walk parts of it, but I guess that does in theory mean that Griffin could do trips to carry us from island to island, but
It would
that
be
would slow us
extremely
down.
inefficient.
Yeah, that'd be really slow.
yeah, that would slow us down a lot.
Not to mention, we don't know how far apart the islands are.
Exactly. Some of them could be, like the area around Latherman's Cay, where they're a decent distance, but at least within vision, and some of them, well, who knows?
Wow.
Basically, we're going to need some sort of flight to navigate us through there effectively.
Well, I guess.
Whether that be more magic brooms or flying creatures.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. I guess is there no easy way to enchant us some items to fly on?
It takes time and money.
And
Think about how long it took us to make the dragon slaying sword that Grim is now wielding.
Admittedly, flying broom not as complex as a dragon slaying sword,
I was
but
gonna say that's probably not gonna take as long.
but
And also, of course, we
complicated
don't have to
enough
make
that not
ourselves a
every-
brand new broom. But it's still
Well-
not going to be that time efficient.
yeah, but it's still complicated enough that there's very few flying brooms out there,
Hmm
or carpets.
What are the
Uh.
odds that we could find somebody who just has like a boat that can fly? Not on the elemental plane, but here.
Well, I know one person that might not like to see us that could potentially help us.
Do you mean
Is
that
it
guy
like
who
a
told us
guy?
never to see him again after we borrowed his regular boat?
I'm sure he's cooled down by now.
put money on it.
Well,
Is that who you were thinking of?
That
Also,
was who
how
I
do
was
we even-
thinking of. Our artifact.
and Angelica did also
Refugee.
recently have a run-in with him where she got him out of trouble, if you remember.
True.
He does owe us.
Oh,
Well, technically he has no idea she works for you, and technically
true.
he already paid her
Yeah.
with a diamond
Oh,
that
right,
you
right,
now
right.
have.
well, like we can still use it. Like, yeah, you know,
Um,
it's something.
Also, it's business. Like, we're going for business. We're not just going to be like, hey, my guy.
He
Wow.
did say he didn't want to see us again, though, and we also said we didn't want to see him again.
Yeah, but you say that
Yeah,
to
but
people
sort
all
of
the
that's a shame.
time.
Do you?
Well,
Also,
not that
that's-
often.
That's how you lead. You open the conversation like, hey, okay, so I know we both agreed we didn't want to see each other again, but some shit came up, and we kind of might need some. You might be able to help us.
I don't know. If I was a shady dealer in all things that I shouldn't be owning, I don't think I'd take that. Because
I
let's
mean,
be
it
honest,
is
Trouble
his
Trouble
whole
does have a
business.
habit of following us.
Well,
Trouble went after him without us being there. Technically, we saved his ass that one time.
sure, we can put it like that.
I mean, I wasn't saying like hold that over his head, but we can't. He can't argue that Trouble follows us when Trouble came to him when we weren't there, and then we showed up and it got better. That one time, to be fair. But
Admittedly, I don't think Llewellyn would have done anything terrible, but
no, I don't think so either. But
we
it did improve rapidly and noticeably when we got there.
Yeah,
Just
but
for the sake of this
also
argument.
the person that did it was somewhat related to us.
No, because
is a-
we'd never met him.
No, but you
No,
know,
but he's a
but
friend
he
of a
knew who
friend.
you were.
Well, yeah, but we didn't know who he was. Still, this is me just making an argument for the sake of making the argument.
yeah. Well,
He's
like,
probably gonna be pissed if we show up, but
Yeah, stop playing the devil's advocate.
I'll do whatever I damn well please.
Well,
well,
can
we were
whatever
playing
you
the
damn
devil's
well please
advocate.
be arguing a point you
Jayla
actually
was
agree with.
proposing the actual ideas. Well, there is always the other. I guess there's always the option that we just walk in there with a bag of money and drop it on the table.
Grim, we
But I
can't
don't-
keep using them.
I know.
Is our
Yeah,
talking point.
if we keep doing this, we're gonna rapidly run out of money.
Well, like, let's be
Can't
honest.
bribe the
He's not
world.
going to help us for free anyway. I'm not saying we put a ridiculous amount in there, but like, it's a good
Enough
way.
to just fill it with some rocks so it sounds like it's heavier.
Like, it just leaves the statement: we're here for business. You know, we don't care about the other stuff. Like, do you like money? Yes or no? Although he didn't seem to be too bothered about money.
No, he doesn't. I don't think he cares that much about money. I think what he likes is weird items,
I mean, here's the
and
thing.
I happen
if
to
we
like
show
my
up,
weird items.
if we show up and we propose to him that we would like to do business with him, if he has what we need, he can turn us away and we just go. If that's the case.
But like, I think Elizabeth has a point. If we show up with a curio, perhaps something that he may be interested in, because, like, you know, we got to play his passions.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm quite attached to all of our current curios. So
Well, we have some interesting stuff. Like we have a balanced flame blade dagger, like +2 to range attacks. But not that interesting. But when you're aware of the weapon's location, as long as you're within 300 feet and on the same plane, which I guess is not too impressive, but it's something.
I mean, it's a magic dagger. Like,
But like he is definitely an option if we have But yeah, we can just show up and try. Like, you know, what's the worst he's gonna do?
suppose you're right on that front, at least.
Slam the door in our face. Try and punch us.
I don't think he'd try and punch us. Although if he
No.
did resort to aggression, who knows what curios he's got.
I think he knows better after what we did, and he thought it to be impossible. So I doubt he's gonna, mess with us.
You would certainly hope so.
Just blows up the entire city. Like, you'll never take me alive. I think he'll be he's our best lead for a quick fix. Otherwise, we might have to head up to, well, I guess up north would be the most likely place to find maybe more like beast tamers or monstrosities or whatever. Or else we could also, what is are those the only two options we have so far for transport? Do the gnomes have anything exciting going on?
I mean, the gnomes always have something exciting going on. It's whether what they will have is flight capable, reliable enough to use for such a high stakes adventure, and portable to the realm in the first place.
Yeah.
Because currently your biggest problem is how do you get your mode of transport to the plane?
Because if it's a creature, then we can.
Well,
They can plane shift still. I don't
Yeah,
think I can plane shift something like a boat, for example.
You cannot.
Whereas if we just had like the flying brooms, that's just an object that's on us. That can still be plane shifted. So the gnomes would need a flying boat that shrinks.
Oh, we did have a regular boat that shrinks, but
Yeah, not a flying one.
honestly, the first thing that comes to my mind that when we ask them for flight, they're probably going to have like a catapult and then launch it with an airbag or something.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not
But
really.
you don't give your people a lot of credit, do you?
well, like it's a great thing, but like some of us are a little too, they could use to be a little bit more to be a little bit more grounded. That's how I'd put it. Always like eventually they get there, but it takes a while. Because otherwise I would just have done it myself. But
Yes, as there is a wise gnomish saying about the development of the automated flint and tinder, which is when asked about his failings, he said, "I didn't fail. I just found 100 ways to not make a flint and tinder."
Yep. It's just crossing off the list one by one. Oh, this is fine. But yeah, I'd say you're right. We can't. I guess like a technical device would have to be too small. It's going to be magical or living.
Didn't you guys
Like,
meet that
how-
giant owl that one time?
Where was the? Well, that was in the forest, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was near.
V met a giant owl, and it was mentioned in conversation.
Oh.
I don't think you ever met it yourselves.
Oh yeah, V met the giant owl. But that means there's giant birds near Silverbrook. That's relatively close.
Also, I will point out a giant owl is large, but it would not carry more than one of you.
Yeah. And it would not be comfortable because it's probably
I
going
mean, it would carry you just fine, Grim.
Yeah, but I
Yes.
think it's more the case of it's probably going to be claw travel,
You know.
which is not ideal.
Well, actually, for you, you might be able to just sit precariously on its back because you're small
Yeah.
enough. But
Well,
Well, I'll just disappear in the feathers. There's just like a big
good
poof
thing-
cloud of feathers.
the good thing about
Sounds like
owls is though they're pretty quiet flyers.
Yeah, but they'll basically have. If I'm on the
Stealth
back,
mode.
they're not going to be quiet anymore.
you just hear the clanking of your plate mail. Oh no. Like every time
What?
they kind of like beat their wings, you just hear the clank of plate mail being shifted around.
As much as I think it would be amazing to just to tame a creature, I think we should just head off to our future friend, hopefully. That's what we'll call him for now.
So you're going to Castport to look for Audubon Tarland.
If unless there's any objections.
I mean, I think that seems like our best bet right now, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we still have the wand of magic missile.
You
I
do.
forget about.
That's
Yeah,
pretty ordinary.
Yeah, but you know.
So yeah. Well, I guess the question is, how are you travelling to Gasport first?
Well, considering it's going to take days, I think it's probably worth just teleporting, right?
Want to try and teleport to Gasport?
Like, there's no reason for us not to, I believe.
Okay, I guess we're trying to teleport to Gasport.
Okay. Well, you've been there before, so it's guaranteed, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
not
think
guaranteed if I've been there before. It's only guaranteed if I have something from if I'm going to a circle or if I have something taken from there within the last 6 months.
You have a diamond.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we have that diamond. Well, that would count, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, that worked out conveniently.
Yeah, that worked out really well actually. So yeah, there you go, guaranteed. Bam, straight to Gasport.
Okay. That makes life a little easier for me.
Yeah, it means we don't have to roll a D100 and you don't have to try and pick up somewhere random to put us if we fail.
Yeah.
Which I have failed every single D100 teleport roll I've made so far. So.
Admittedly, you haven't severely failed any of them, so.
No, not yet. I have failed every single one of them though.
There was the dragon.
the dragon was.
Oh, that
pretty
that wasn't a teleport roll. That was just a random encounter.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My brain skipped to doing random encounters on the road, and
Your brain skipped to just rolling any D100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my brain missed the fact that we were talking about teleport rolls.
Yeah. I suppose the worst thing was that me and my sister had to have a bit of a walk back home.
You had a bit of a hike.
We had to cross a river, I think.
Oh, actually, before we teleport, do you still have that, or did you give the information core, the recording thing, from Letterman's file?
That's a good question. What?
Oh, the illusory projector.
Yes, because I think it might be the kind of thing that would intrigue a person like him. But I can't remember if we handed it over to the college or Elizabeth kept it around.
I don't recall.
It's not written in my. I think I might have given it to.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it was used as a bartering chip at some point.
Yeah. That's a beautiful
I
bartering
definitely
chip.
remember showing it to Lydia Felkir.
Well, let's just assume we gave it to them then, because we had no use for it.
Yeah, I
let's
think
be
part
honest.
of the magical artifacts turned over in your various back and forth.
In our various donations.
Yeah.
'Cause we've made a lot of those.
Okay, so you all gather. Elizabeth brings you over to the city of Gasport. Mark your spell down, Elizabeth.
Alright.
And yeah, you find yourself in the the upper the upper portion that overlooks the wall into the dockyard. Are you heading to Audubon Tarland's previous location?
I guess that would be the most sensible, right?
Okay. So you head to the last known location of Erdemantalen's House of Curiosities, only to find that the doorway where you spoke to Erdemantalan previously is still there, but when you go to examine it, the doors just sort of swings open into a essentially somebody's like side shack, like their shed.
Okay.
Interesting.
Guess he is a troubling man.
Well, previously when you opened this door, it opened into an expansive space, but
Yeah, but it's not the first door that
it is not.
that we've opened that doesn't lead to where it's supposed to lead.
Correct.
It's
Also, I recall his place having 2 doors last time.
back. What was the back door?
Well, there
Was in like
was an internal and an external door. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
it was a double-doored building.
Yeah. As you push this one open, it's not present.
well.
But yeah, as you pointed out, he moves around. Makes sense he wouldn't be in the same place.
Oh, we could. Would know. Like, well, I guess like, do officials keep track of who lives here, or is that like not really a thing people do currently?
Well, also, if he's like a shady backroom dealer, he probably does his best to avoid those kinds of things.
I was gonna say, honestly, we'd probably be better asking just around instead of going to any sort of city officials to find him.
Yeah. Either way works.
Well, I will say you do know one person who's had a run-in with him in the recent present.
Yes. I was considering it, but I'm also like, do we want to? Well, I guess
We could
actually,
send him,
Also,
right?
don't we have an extra
Yeah.
piece of magic that lets us locate people?
Yes, but I did not specific people.
Well,
It's the nearest individual of like a specific kind, essentially, or like creature of a specific kind. I thought about using it to try to locate an object, and I was gonna try to see if we could find that boat that we borrowed last time, but I don't know if he still has it, so that might not really be useful.
we did give him it back though.
Hmm?
It might. I mean, could still be worth it.
Yeah, well, but also like it's not a huge range, and I think we're better off just contacting. I forgot her name. But
Angelica.
yes,
Angelica, yeah.
because she probably has a better idea of at least where we could start, if not where exactly he is.
Angelica.
Well, I guess you could just send a message.
Well, you
What
know
was
where
it?
she's stationed.
Oh, we do. Yeah, but like, do we actually want to stop by her? That was more.
That's up to you.
Like, kind of the point of having her here is people not knowing that she's with us. If I'm not mistaken. But on the other hand, like, wait,
Well,
do
I
we
guess,
know what her?
I guess
what
what you're actually meant to do if you're meeting up with contacts like this is you get in contact with them, and then they set up and then you together set up some sort of neutral, inconspicuous place to actually meet up.
It's up to you. You guys can do what you want.
Well, just one. Like, do we know what her like establishment or whatever is like? Because if she runs something, then like we could just act as if we're interested in the business or whatever. But I think like just contacting was sending. There's
Yeah, contacting with her with sending will just bypass all of that because it'll be a uninterceptable message.
So if you if you'd be
So,
willing,
do you want me to just
Elizabeth,
say like, we need to talk? Where's the safest place to meet you?
or could you could you give us the location? like your the last known location of what's his name?
Odabin
Yeah.
Tarland.
Oh, man. It's a hard name.
Mr. Tarland.
Mr. Tarland.
Mr. Talland. Yes.
Mr. Tarland. Please call me Odabin. Mr. Tarland was my. Anyway. Yeah, I will send that message.
Okay.
Can you give us the last known location of Odabin Tarland?
A few moments pass before a message returns from Angelica. At which point she just says, last time he was in a hurry to leave. Not sure where he went from here, but I could find out.
I'll pass that on to Grim.
Well, one quick fix is suddenly less quick. There really are no shortcuts in life, are there?
Well, there are shortcuts. You just have to know where to find them, and we don't know where to find this one.
No, it was more just because we had been trying the one quick fix after the other, but yeah. What do you guys think? Should we put her on it? It's not like she has much else to do.
Yeah.
Or at least nothing specific.
Apart from trying to root out the entirety of the Dread Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if they're not here, like she's just keeping watch, maintaining relations, that kind of
I was
stuff.
gonna say we don't know how busy she is.
I mean, we
Well-
could do the really easy thing of asking.
Well, she offered, so like she probably has time.
Yeah.
I mean, we could tell her basically like, hey, if you could take like a day or two, and if you don't turn up anything, just pass on what you've got to us, and we'll like figure it out. Like I think that's a decent medium where she does what she's good at, and if it's taking up too much of her time, we can just do our best to pick up what she's got.
Yeah.
I guess I'll pass on that message as well then.
Yep,
Just
okay.
give it 1 or 2 days, but if you don't find anything, no biggie.
Yeah, again, a few moments pass before the response comes. I can do that for you.
Cool.
We could have done this remotely, but this is fine.
Well, while we're here,
Yep.
this is a decently big city. It's a center of trade. It's decently wealthy.
You want to go artifact hunting?
I mean, it couldn't hurt.
Oh, we can definitely try. But considering the one place we got sent for artifacts is not there anymore, I don't have high hopes. But we'll see.
It can't hurt to try. I mean, we're waiting anyway.
Yeah.
I would also like fish while we're in a port city.
Fish.
Do you mean you want to go fishing, or do you just want to eat some fish?
Either.
Probably both.
I meant eat, but honestly, I'll go catch my own fish. I don't give a shit.
Don't we just like polymorph you into a shark for a bit? You can go hunt your own fish.
What? I don't need to be a shark to catch fish.
Different experience.
Also, raw fish is not the same as a nicely
No.
grilled fish.
Well, how about we go for an artifact hunt, and then afterwards we'll go eat some fish.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to go artifact hunting, I still have not found a suitable replacement for Streetwise in 5th edition, but I guess just give me a straight up investigation check as a
I
group.
guess. Shall I make? I guess I'll make it then with help
Sure.
because I'm a +12.
Okay. So, with your previous experience of knowing whether the magic artifact shops aren't, you scour the city. You find a couple of places selling like odd niche odds and ends, but you don't find anywhere that is quite stocking what you're looking for.
Does anyone at least have a scroll of fly?
There are a couple of wizard supply shops that might be able to provide it with you, or provide you with it. And actually, you know what? With a 31,
That could still be a good emergency.
I will say there is.
Cool. Can I buy a scroll of fly?
You can. Let me open my repository of magic
Ferrous,
item prices.
you found it, but you cannot purchase it. It is only for display.
What's your third?
It's display model.
God,
Can we
could you
get a-
imagine scroll had a
can we-
display model?
Can we get a discount because it's the?
it's the one that's been on display.
Also, I keep forgetting that there's a crystal for War Mage in my inventory.
Hmm.
I don't think I've attached that to anything.
Well, you basically just slap it on somewhere.
Yeah.
Wait, a what?
Gem of the War Mage.
Yeah.
It allows you to have a weapon and not you need a focus.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anything
some
can
reason
be
it's-
magical. You just slap a crystal on there.
I mean, that's how that works, obviously. I mean, to be fair, it's not like Elizabeth really uses weapons, so.
Well, she's been donking people with that.
Stick.
yeah, it would
Well,
would allow her to use the Staff of Thunder and Lightning as a focus.
Which means I could have that and shield.
I do like the idea that like magical artifact
stick
still
with
isn't enough. It just needs that gem.
To stick with a ruby on it.
Well, it's magically powerful in and of its own right. It's not got the correct
It's not a conduit.
aspects to be a conduit. Yes.
Yeah, crystals are good for that sort of stuff.
Elizabeth, can you make me a persuasion roll?
Sure. Just flat.
Yeah, just flat persuasion. Okay.
Not the worst persuasion roll.
Clearly, yeah, you should have let Grim persuade people.
Wow.
Or, the person who actually has persuasion.
They will sell you a scroll of fly for 240 gold.
Yeah, that could have been worse.
Yeah, we'll take it. Right? I'll just deduct it from the party fund.
Okay, if you're sure.
Well, like because we're just gonna top up your money anyway, otherwise.
Yeah, I suppose.
And in the current state that we're in, it's not like there's any reason why we couldn't.
Scroll off fly.
240, you said?
240, yes.
Yes. Good.
Because yeah, now if someone falls off something on the plane of air, we don't have to just like.
The only isn't it touch range?
Well, yeah, okay, true.
Well,
But
like
then we
you
can,
can.
But then we
Why
can
don't
like,
you-
but I can like feather fall you as the emergency, so you
Yeah.
fly slower, and then we fly down to you, touch. Now you can fly.
Yeah, I was gonna
yourself.
say, why don't you just have feather fall?
I
Well,
can have
because
both.
falling for we're gonna be falling for a
falling-
lot longer than.
Falling more slowly, but possibly forever.
Yeah, but the point is that at that point you catch up with them and pick them back up and take them back to whatever they were originally using to not be falling. But yeah, fly is also a fair
Yeah.
point. I
Well,
thought
like
you didn't have featherfall at all, and I was like, why are you getting fly as a featherfall?
No, I do have feather fall.
She
Okay,
does,
yeah. Yeah, I missed.
Yeah, because not having feather fall proved to be a big problem at one point, so I then went and got feather fall.
Okay,
but then
I
every-
it probably just hasn't come up since then.
well,
Yeah.
it has come up, but like I think
Yeah.
every time we've needed it, it's just after you've like, we can
Done a
can
big
afford not to
spell of-
have it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no.
We can afford not to have it, and then I take it off to assign something else. You
And
know,
then we
like
need
for
a-
example, we're in like a crowded dungeon. It's like, oh, there's nothing here. There's gonna like, or we're gonna be. Oh wait, hang on. There's a cliff inside this dungeon. Shit.
Oh well.
Okay. So yeah, you buy a scroll of fly, and that is pretty
You write
much.
it down, yeah.
That is pretty much all that you can find that is immediately of use to you on that front.
Unfortunate.
Well, then
Um,
that leaves one thing:
It does.
fish, fresh fish.
Yeesh.
Don't fucking make fun of me.
Raw
I may be
fish.
projecting a little bit onto Kelariis, but you cannot tell me that having grown up near the coast with a
Yep.
family who fishes for a living, that she would not miss fish.
Oh
She
no.
probably
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
probably
funny.
would miss fish eventually.
Yes.
So I started saying that, and I live near the coast, but I'm not really missing fish that much. But that's just me.
But your parents didn't fish.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. We're not a fishing family.
You also live near a port, not exactly like a fishing town or
Jayla lived
anything.
on a tropical
True.
island.
To be
be fair,
clear,
though, I
my
live-
family did not fish, but
To be fair though, I also live in a British seaside town where, of course, the classic thing is fish and chips, as it
Yeah,
is in
but,
all
like-
of England. But still.
that's different though. Like
No.
It
fish
is.
and I feel like you can get away with other like
Fish
not
and
super fresh
chips.
fish for fish and chips,
Yes.
and it would still be okay. It's better if it's
Yeah.
fresh, but
It also takes you a significantly longer time to get to the coast from the Amber Eagle stronghold than it does anywhere else.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Yeah, like we're like at
We're
best we
pretty
get
inland.
recalled fish there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's some in the.
I was gonna say,
Well,
is there a
the
river
river is-
nearby?
yeah, as I said, this
River
you
fishing?
you get river caught fish, but you don't get ocean fish, which is it's very
yeah,
different.
Ocean fish is different though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you can still
salty
get.
fish.
You can still get. You can still get salmon.
Yeah, salmon's good. Like salmon's a good. Salmon is a good river fish.
For
Well,
that one
there's-
part of the year where they're migrating upriver to have babies.
Yeah, but there's plenty of good fishing out there.
There are
But,
plenty of fish in the
yeah.
sea.
There are
And the rivers and the lakes.
And everywhere where there's water, really.
Um,
Plenty of fish in the fish tank.
but I
Unless you know
believe
people, in which case there's
we
not.
are successful in our quest for
we
finding.
just
Quest
failed
for
at
fish.
finding fish.
Yeah.
Which is
No
just
one
bad
selling
thing.
fish. There's
No
been some
fish.
nasty storms recently, and none of the fishing boats have been able to go out, and they've actually
You
run out
go
of fish.
you go looking for fish and fail spectacularly. Roll for initiative.
Well,
Oh,
Turns out the fish found you.
no. Oh god. We're
Oh,
about to
no.
get fucking eaten by a fish.
Turns
Oh,
out all
no,
the fish have been
I've-
eaten by a kraken. Roll an initiative.
honestly, I thought you were gonna say something about the whole power over fish comment that I made about.
Oh god, yeah, ages ago.
Like that they've all rebelled, dodging the
Yeah, the fish have all joined the Dread Legion.
the Dread Legion.
Oh,
We're gonna,
Oh no.
we're gonna
that would be
starve
really
you.
awful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, that'd be kind of scary.
Yeah, that
That
would
would
be
be.
scary. It's like
Fish
all the
have
fish in
joined
the
the
sea
Dread
want to kill
Legion.
you.
I don't want to fuck with angry fish. Like, I'm just gonna put that out there.
I don't know. There are certain fish that I wouldn't mind suddenly hating me, but there are some fish that I don't want to suddenly hate me.
Yeah, let's just like avoid having fish mad at us.
So otherwise, we're gonna have to go hunting for a Triton who can talk them down.
I've had fish come and like nip at me before.
Well, that's a little bit different than.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
it's not the same, but it was
Well,
it was
this
an
is-
experience.
That's exactly my point. Like some fish wouldn't be that scary because they're small, they don't do that much damage. But if there was a giant shark that was actually trying to kill me, then yeah, that'd be pretty fucking scary.
Or
Oh,
eels.
well.
Eels with nasty teeth.
Yeah,
Mm.
like the fucking alien eel that's got two jaws.
Anyway,
It's got a mouth in its mouth.
I guess the question is, after we've had fish, what do we do? Do we just hang around for a day or two because convenience?
Yeah.
Is it like we don't have to hang around the base, and now that we're here, we might as well just hang around till we get the info.
Also, we may well be en route if our assault squad is on its way back.
Okay, yeah. Well, if anything important happens, then Von Dahl can always tell us.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, to be fair, Casper's a pretty big city, so even if they did pass through her, we might just miss them.
Yes, Casport
Yeah.
is quite a large city.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, so if you're staying for a couple of days, go ahead and I can't remember how much I priced the things to stay
Usually
here.
it's like half a gold a night.
Only if you want to go to the upper class place.
Wait, as a group or per person?
I think it's as a group, isn't it?
Yeah, like okay. Well, like I wasn't sure for like the high end stuff if that was per person, half gold, or as a group.
No, I think it's half a gold for as a group in the upper.
Well,
You're going to be there for 2 days, so
we need to be well rested. So
Give the man his gold.
I mean, take the opportunity for, like a nice bed while you can get it, I guess.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling that once we're in the plane of or the elemental plane of air, there's not going to be a whole lot of inns.
I hope you like your bedroll.
I mean, we've been in bedrolls for a long time.
you just have an air
Not-
mattress. But
Oh my god.
Paris.
So basically, you're just sleeping on the floor because you always end up sleeping on the floor with those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever slept on an air mattress that didn't deflate in the middle of the night.
Yep.
same.
They're
I've had
pretty
that
bad.
happen.
Anyway, you spend 2 days sort of chilling, waiting for news from. Almost called her Amanda for a second there. Angelica.
Amanda.
Amanda.
Who's that?
It's Angelica's alter ego.
Wow.
Terrifying.
Yeah, until the shortly after you've eaten your morning meal on the second day of being here, you head out of the front door of the tavern to see a long-eared, red-headed woman leaning on the wall across the street from you, sees you leave, gestures in a direction, and walks off.
I guess we go in that direction that she gestured.
Yeah, surely this isn't a scam, right?
Well, it's Angelica, so.
Or so we think.
It's a fucking changeling.
God, Minnie is such a wild card in
Yeah.
everything we do, and it's
I know, right?
yeah.
It's supposed to be
don't
Mr.
worry.
It's fine, and he's like, "Oh, is it really Angelica?"
So yeah, she takes you to a park that overlooks the dock wall that leads down to the waterfront. Sits down, invites the rest of you to sit. Smiles politely and says, "Well, I wasn't expecting to see all of you again so soon."
We're kind of hoping to to strike a deal with or is there I would say old friend, but he's not. We have a complicated past.
She gives you sort of like a side grin and says, "Yeah, I kind of gathered that."
Like he never wants to see us again, but he's also the best person to help us. So he'll get over it, I'm sure. Did you turn up anything or?
She nods and sort of says, "Well, it's kind of good news and bad news."
How so?
Well, the good news is I found him. He's doing all right. The bad news is that the last information I have on where he might be is somebody on the trail heading north towards Lokeston apparently ran into him. Set up in some tavern back room.
So we probably won't be there for long.
Considering what went down, I wouldn't be surprised if he's trying to keep a low profile and probably is doing a good job of keeping himself covered. He'll be keeping his regulars in touch, but I don't think he's exactly operating to general public.
Well,
So is that the
I
bad news
think-
part, or is there a different bad news part?
That's the bad news part, in that I know where he is for the moment, but I have no way of telling how long he's going to be there or if he'll even talk to you.
well, at least that's. Say, how far would this be roughly?
I can show you on the map.
Like a day?
A bit more than a day. It is that way.
Oh yeah, that is
It's past Willow River.
like we could.
Yeah, that is a like maybe a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we could cheat halfway, but like, it's not really. Yeah, no, like we need the others to. On the one hand, I'm like, well, it takes too long. On the other hand, we don't have anything better to go on. Well, I guess since you're here, this is basically just I'm not expecting anything, but you wouldn't happen to know anybody that trades in rare artifacts or happens to tame any flying beasts of notable size?
She sort of thinks for a moment and sort of says, "Not that would be easily accessible."
Wait, which part would you have a clue about?
Well, on the whole, magical artifact dealers, there's a couple of them that sort of get around. It depends what you're looking for, really. But on the flying creatures part, that's the slightly less accessible ones. You remember me talking about my previous employer?
I remember some mention. Didn't go into too much detail.
They had some investments with a group of individuals, let's say, who were into strange and wonderful animals, and generally had a whole thing for trying to domesticate anything that they could get their hands on. Obviously, it's been a while, but last I heard, they were probably still going. The thing is, I'm not sure they deal with you. It's kind of an exclusive club, she like thumbs the edge of her ears.
See, in the long run, I would eventually like to make that a thing, but
I'm not really sure you would.
no, not the shady bit, but like something like the image of you know,
You
the
want
Amber
domestic
Eagle
flying animals for the Amber
coming
Eagle,
flying in. But
not actual eagles.
Although in this case we need it for something more specific.
We just need to be able to. We just need to get the 4 of us flying.
But well, yeah. Well, I guess. Well, yeah. As Elizabeth said, we just need to get. We need something so we can stay in the sky for prolonged periods of time. But I think maybe just going artifact hunting is our best bet. Although we only need one of the creatures, so
The problem is we know where to start looking for, you know, a magic artifact. Where do you start looking to find a flying creature?
well, we got a clue, but that's what. Like I said, we should probably just go for our old pal. Oh, there's no way to speed up that trip, is there? No, there isn't.
There's teleporting halfway, but
Yeah, but like, it's still several weeks from there, or at least a week.
What do you need this all for?
Well, like I said, we need. Well, I guess you might as well now.
reliable travel in the elemental plane of air.
Yes.
I see.
And considering the lack of pathways in general, flight is a bit of a must. Although now that I think about it, now that you have that scroll, Elizabeth, could you just learn that?
Yeah, but that spell only lasts 10 minutes.
Like, how often could you cast it in a day?
It's not enough to make it worth it, and it would use up all of my magic to keep it going for any decent length of time.
You'd also need to cast it at 6th level to be able to target everyone.
Exactly.
Well, we
So yeah,
can
if we
get
target
away with less than
yeah,
every.
we can get away with only targeting 2, which means I need to cast it at 4th level, which means I could cast
Oh.
it a grand total of
Well,
10
do-
times.
we do still have a doggo.
We do have a dog.
What
Oh,
up?
yeah.
Ah,
Big dog.
So yeah, no, I need to cast it for 3 people,
unless we want to.
which means, yeah, that means I can only cast it 7 times.
Well, I guess we could go with the other option. You could, like, even though you haven't done that in like ages, you could dismiss her and then summon her on the other side.
Can I summon her as something that flies, Rob?
Yes. It just takes effort.
Like, what kind of effort?
I think it takes you 8 hours. I'll check.
Well, as long as if she can carry 2 of us, what we
She
need.
probably would only be able to carry one.
Yeah, she would not be.
She's only a large.
Yeah, but she probably wouldn't even be able to be a large flying creature based on her thing. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, flying is an expensive trait.
She's got special rules.
Yeah. I think when we changed your subclass, you don't have the ability to change anymore because it's your spirit companion now.
Oh, rip.
If you were the other one, you could, but
Right. Never
If only
mind.
only it was like Pokemon.
Okay, Lyra, here's where you tell us that you can sprout wings from your back.
Oh,
And this is when she makes the
Um,
trademark noise.
But yeah, you can dismiss her and resummon her 8 hours later. So
Yeah, it's not entirely useful.
yeah, because if we're traveling around, then
The thing is, like,
although like if it's a breaking point, like if it's the difference between being able to go or
Yeah.
not, then might maybe. But currently, it's not going to be enough either way. But yeah, I don't think we won't take up any more of your time. If you have any suggestions, feel free to bring them up. But
sorry,
But this-
I wish I had more information on that. But
well,
it's quite alright.
we didn't expect you to have too much on that front. The look at well, we were hoping to find our buddy.
Although- there is one. I mean, maybe I'm not fully grasping what it is that you need here. But would it not be easier to find something while you're there?
Perhaps.
Because I mean, elemental plane of air, you'd kind of assume that at least some of them can fly already, and if there's creatures that can't fly, they've got to have a way of getting around, right?
That is true.
We could give that a go.
It does create the issue of if we can't find something or someone who'd be willing to help us, probably not someone, then we are stranded there without any means of flying.
Well, that said, I have an idea. It's a terrible idea, but it might work.
This is already inspiring so much confidence.
So we teleport in, if possible, with flying. We see if we can land someplace, and then if we don't think we're gonna be able to do anything, we just go back. We just instantly, because you can cast it twice, right?
Technically, yes.
That would give
Oh,
us
so
a better idea.
So you suggest a brief search in the local area for something that could help us fly. If there isn't anything, we just leave.
Yes, if we don't think we can manage, then we just leave. And if we do think we'll be fine, then we stay.
Do you not know where you're going to arrive?
Not really.
Well, I can specify an area, but I can't be super precise when hopping between planes.
The problem is we've never been there, and
Yeah,
so we don't know what it's like.
I suppose that's a point. I should ask my parent if there's any named area that's particularly suitable for our needs.
So basically, what we're trying to do is, when we go in, blind, have the best odds of making it back. That's kind of how this planar travel thing works so far. And then the second time, things are a lot easier because then we know where we are. We can target things, or it's better. It's like how we don't have to walk back and forth every time we want to come back here now.
She sort of nods and says, yeah, it's not exactly subtle, but I guess it's handy.
Yes. Well, unless we're interacting with you, subtlety is usually not a priority.
Well, let's just say I almost knew you were here before you even messaged me.
I wouldn't be surprised. But hey, that means you're doing a great job.
She smiles and almost like perhaps even like slightly blushes a little.
Aw.
But yes. So what do you guys think? Do we want to start traveling up north, or do we just want to? Well, I guess there's one thing we don't have that we need before anything of this matters,
Mhm.
and that's our rod.
True.
So,
I have to get in touch with my parent again.
yeah. Well, you can give it a go. They might even have a suggestion if all else fails. I'm a little sad we didn't attune a fork to the element, like the chaotic plane or whatever it was.
I'm not.
Not because I want to be there, but because we're never going to be able to come back otherwise.
That's okay with me.
Yeah, I don't think I want to go back to the elemental chaos, if I can help it.
But could you imagine if we could just dump what's his face there? The Dread Legion commander.
I'm pretty sure he'd have a way to get out.
Yeah, that seems more of a
like-
sweep it under the rug sort of solution.
Potentially, but like it's basically what they did here. They put him in a prison. Apparently,
Yeah.
prison on this, plane wasn't good
Yeah,
enough.
but we want to learn from the mistakes of the past, so we want to do a situation where he can't just come back centuries later.
Yeah, but good luck figuring that one out.
I can think of a pretty good way to stop him coming back.
Really?
At which point she just like mimics stabbing someone with a dagger, and then it's like a bleh.
If only. I thought we established that was not very effective.
Also, aren't they a
It's like-
death cult? Isn't like death just kind of an inconvenience?
Yeah.
Partially yes, partially no. Because they surely don't. They've ways to circumvent death, but like only the most powerful of them will be capable of such a thing. And depending on how good they are, after a certain time frame, they will basically be incapable of such a feat. But yes, that's why the whole keeping them alive or permanently killing. It's like liches are a complicated thing that we haven't quite figured out yet.
Rather you than me.
Well,
As we said earlier, we'll stop taking up your time.
yes. We should. Yeah. But yeah. Did you guys want to head up, or what do you guys think? You think it's worth it getting the artifacts?
I don't think
'Cause we're gonna have to wait for Oberon, anyway. Wait, no, it's not Oberon. Is it?
No, it's not.
Wait, what?
Who?
Are you trying to say Puck?
What are we doing?
No, not
No,
Puck,
Odeban.
Your
he
parents.
means.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
it's like Oberon. Excuse me.
Oberon is the king of the fairies.
Definitely not
My
Oberon.
Remember that one time he
Odeban.
tried to fuck me? That was weird.
Oh. At least
Don't look
He
at me.
Yeah,
flirted
these-
with you. That was it.
I think he was down.
like he wouldn't have said no, that's for
Let's-
sure. But like,
Let's be honest though, can you blame him? It is Arya.
I'm pretty
Just saying.
hot.
He was into it, but you weren't into it, so therefore he wasn't into it.
he didn't push too hard.
He's into consensual adultery.
Consensual adultery.
Well, it is
Oh,
adultery.
well,
He's
like-
married.
Yeah, well,
true.
like it would. Although for Arya, it would also have essentially been adultery.
Well,
It's not
no,
technically, but like
it wouldn't have been adultery, but would have.
Yeah, they're not married.
they're not married. But like like feelings-wise, it would have been.
It wouldn't have been adultery, but it would have been cheating.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so you wanna get in contact with Khadija before you do anything else? Is that what I understood?
Mhm.
Like it will determine a lot. So we should
What
probably-
are you saying?
I will just say to them, it's looking like elemental plane's our best bet. Can you get us away over there?
A few moments pass. I had a feeling you would say that. I have a plan.
Ooh.
Let me know when you're ready.
Oh no.
God's sake.
What?
Sorry. I can't believe Zavala's my parent.
It's
Only certain
okay,
words.
I can only do a certain number of deep voices, and it's not Zavala. Jesus.
It was just
Yeah.
the very start of it. And it didn't face out of it. I'm so sorry.
Whether we wanted it or not, we've stepped into a war with an elemental plane of air. Let's get to taking out their command one by one.
You don't even have
Valas
to do a
Toak.
deep voice for them all the time.
It was
Oh.
just the very first handful of words, and then it was not that, but I couldn't stop myself.
You don't even have to do a deep voice for them all the time. You can just be like, oh yeah, they're protecting Fem now. Just do a different voice. There
Yeah.
you go. Problem solved.
I think adding more voices is
Yeah,
honestly
it's
make it more complicated.
consistency is easier.
Yeah.
But yes. Hmm.
Well,
I assume you relay that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like, how ready do we feel?
Um,
We should probably make sure we have enough food that's not, going bad.
yeah, we should make some rations. I guess I'll leave it for you to decide whether you want to keep Fly as a scroll or if you think it's better to know it. That's up to you to decide.
Let me just double check how long it'll take me to do it.
Probably like an afternoon or a day.
Third level. So it'll probably take a while.
Are those like 3 hours, 6 hours?
$2 and 50 gold per level. So that cost me 150 gold, and it'll take 6 hours.
6 hours. Well, if you think it's worth it, I think we can
think it's
spend
worth
that
it.
time. Well, shall we head back then?
So if you think about it, we're probably going to be fighting. If things get aggressive, we're going to be fighting a lot of things that can fly, and if we can't fly, that's going to be difficult.
Oh, I should probably bring it. Yeah, I should pull out my my old crossbow. Just in case. I haven't dusted this thing off in ages.
You should probably get something that isn't a crossbow now that you have multi-attack, because, yeah, you can't multi-attack with a crossbow, but you can with a regular bow.
That is
We-
true, but
Well,
I
we
also
need to-
feel
we need
like
to
it
get
wouldn't
him-
be grim, and that's the
Yeah.
problem.
You know what we need? We need the latest in Gnomish technology. The repeater crossbow.
Yes.
Oh, well, see-
Technically a drow thing, but
well, but like I have other things I can do. Like I've got darts,
you do have darts, yes.
You do have darts.
which are
Also,
Just
I think
mildly
mildly fly on you, and then
inferior.
you can just fly up and swing a sword.
But yes, okay, so what are you telling Khadija?
Well, I guess we'll do our thing. Pick up some rations while they're picking up rations. I'm copying a spell.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so yeah, you have the respective prices for that. I don't need to walk you through that.
yeah. How much food are we shopping with the second age? How much food is everyone buying?
Well, let's just do we just want to do our standard 2 to 3 weeks? Like, I don't expect it to take that long, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and we still probably have some left over from last time, don't we?
yeah, but like, do we
It
really
does,
want to take
yeah.
like old rations?
Yeah,
it's
especially as it's been almost a month. So
Yeah, a lot of that's
fair
going to have
point.
gone off.
Like some of it might still be good, but yeah.
We could buy.
Like-
I mean, we could have 2 weeks. 2 weeks worth.
So okay, so that's
Because then any longer
15
than that,
times
Kelariis
4.
can make
That's
food.
60 gold in rations. Oh no, wait, that's more than 2 weeks. That's a month each.
Yeah.
I don't think we need that much.
Well, we have a month worth of food. No. Okay, so that would be
Throw
21.
money away.
21 instead, so it's 42 gold.
For 21 days.
Yeah.
Each. 21 rations.
Okay.
Put my book back.
And you're transcribing the spell.
Yeah.
Which is it's 3rd level, so that's what?
6,150 gold. I've deducted the gold already.
Okay.
On my own.
That's fine.
I'm just spending 6 hours. So they're shopping and I'm writing.
Okay. So yeah, you spend your time transcribing Fly. You do your shopping, and then you are sending a message.
I also
Hey,
do
we're as
some
ready as we're
shopping
gonna
in the
get.
background.
Uh,
Buy more guns.
I presume
As
you.
ready as we're gonna get. I'm also gonna say we're currently in Castport.
Yes. So yeah.
Whatever the name of the tavern is.
Yes. A short time again. A few short moments elapse. Oh, I suppose technically I should roll for this because it is different plane of contact. But yeah, it's fine. So yeah, a few moments pass, and then Khadija responds and just says, "Oh, that's quicker than I thought. I will get back to you."
Wait, we should also bring a platinum rod. Where's the platinum?
I've got spare rods. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, you did make extra rods, didn't you?
Yeah, we got spare
Just-
rods.
Be sure to bring one.
I think I've got one left. Or do I? I need to write stuff down more.
You do. This is the one job you have. Keep track of your inventory.
I have one job, and I fail at it.
So, the day passes, and you hear nothing more from Khadija for a short time. Spend another half gold among you to stay the evening. At which point, shortly after, or probably actually just before noon on the next day, you are sitting in the common room of the tavern when somebody from the front desk steps into the common space in the tavern, approaches you and says, "Excuse me, Miss Elizabeth?
Yes.
There's someone here to see you."
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, you return to the front desk with the individual, and standing in the hallway is once again a cloaked figure leaning on a staff.
Yep.
Same disguise as you saw previously.
Guide them to presumably our room.
Yeah, you all step inside into the room, and Khadija takes off the disguise and sort of says, "So, I've been thinking.
Yeah.
I think I have a way to get you in a safe place without drawing too much attention."
That sounds pretty good.
There's a slight hitch.
Being.
It's not going to work for Quagrim. I'm going to need your help.
Why is it not going to work for Grim specifically?
Simply put, I have done a little research, and within the realm of my abilities is something called seeming. You may be aware of it.
Am I?
Give me a quick Arcana roll. Yes, it's a group illusion.
Go on.
It's just a bit more complicated than your average illusion. The simple way of putting it is, I'm going to disguise you as palace guards. Unfortunately, and I mean no offense when I say this, there are no Arakoa that are 3 feet tall.
Elizabeth's just going to look at Grim and go, I think we have a potential solution to that problem. How long would we have to be disguised for?
How long can you buy me?
Turns to look at Grim again. How long does
Well,
your
don't
belt
get your
last?
a minute. That's it.
Really only a
know
minute? I thought it was longer than that.
no, it's 1 minute. That's it.
Uh,
Unless I get it mixed up, then it might be 10 at best. But I believe it's 1. I'll double check.
It's whether you're casting invisibility or greater invisibility is the question. I assume that's what you're talking about.
Oh, I think we were talking about
Oh, just make me big instead.
Oh,
yeah,
the
I was talking about
okay.
making him medium with the belt.
I
Because
thought you were
otherwise
talking about
Elizabeth would
invisibility.
know the answer.
Because yeah, otherwise, yeah, I could turn him invisible. I mean, how good would be the detection of invisible things where you're trying to smuggle us through?
Well, if they buy the disguise, they won't think anything is amiss.
Because I could potentially make him invisible. Could also just polymorph him into something.
Like an
Sort of
Aarakocra?
beast.
That could also work.
I don't think I can do an Aarakocra because they're humanoids. I can only do beasts.
If you could make him
Both of-
into a
both of those
large
classes
enough
are-
beast, then the illusion might still be the same. The only problem would be that you sort of need to match the proportions of what I'm disguising you as.
Yeah.
A large ape could work?
I can probably do that.
We're gonna turn Grim into a gorilla.
Oh god.
Will that, affect intelligence?
Polymorph would, yes.
Because the last thing we need is an Arakoa guard throwing their own feces around.
Yeah. I think invisibility might be our best bet. It lasts just as long. And it
Whatever
saves
you
us a lot of
think is your
trouble.
best shot.
Turning him invisible is probably the easiest.
Perhaps.
Because there's an hour of him being invisible.
I'm going to try and keep the attention on me. That's the thing they'll find the most out of place, hopefully.
I don't want you... Okay, what exactly is this plan of yours? We're palace guards. Grim's invisible.
Well, the intention is for them to not even take a second look at you. To cut a long story short, my suzerain, the woman that I work for, she has recently acquired a, I suppose pleasure barge is the best way to describe it. A sort of, party boat. one gift from innumerable suitors. My plan is to simply put, do something out of protocol. This will cause people to ask questions about where I have been. Appearing back in the middle of nowhere, I will no doubt draw attentions, and they will want to ask me a couple of questions. This isn't uncommon. This happens maybe a couple of times a month due to what I have to do for a living. This will seem out of sorts enough to draw particular attention to the questions, but wouldn't be out of the ordinary enough to get me in trouble, I don't think. Meanwhile, I can perhaps get you onto this party boat, and you might be able to use it to go to wherever it is you need to go, and as long as it's back within a certain period of time, you wouldn't be missed? At least I think you wouldn't be missed.
We're gonna steal a boat. That's what you're suggesting.
Well, steal is such a strong word.
Oh,
Borrow!
Really? As they believe they call it, a joyride on a pleasure barge. Is there anything more fitting?
I hate that we're calling it a pleasure barge. Like, out of character. Just
Me
want to
too.
point that out.
I would. I don't know. Wouldn't stealing something that borrowing something that big and grandiose? How long would you think that would buy us?
Possibly a couple of hours. It depends. I mean, this is just one suggestion. If you have another idea of how to get out and about once you get there, then I'm happy to hear it. But so far, my plan is to get you into the city and out of the palace with as little disruption as possible.
Because our problem is we have a way to get two of us reliably in the air for a decent amount of time. But obviously we need 5 people. Well, 4 people and a dog. Wolf.
Ah, you're bringing the dog? The wolf, sorry.
If
Well,
possible, but we can.
Yeah.
Again, I think, once again with the disguise...
No, yeah. Well, this is what we were thinking with our... Yeah, okay, so it might just be best to just the 4... But... I don't know, is there anything... What's actually... what actually lives on the elemental plane of air?
Many things. Elementals, for the most part. There are native creatures. There are the Arakoa, though they tend to they are there more as guests rather than denizens.
Because, like I said, if we can get something that can carry just 2 of us, Kelariis can summon a mount that can carry.
I mean, if your friends are bold enough to try to ride a Quetzalcoatl, they could try that. Those things are basically everywhere.
Jayla's interested.
How friendly are they?
Well, to the Djinni, they are an inconvenience. They are like your pigeons. unfortunately, unlike pigeons, they also have razor-sharp teeth. So they are amicable enough, but you wouldn't want to antagonize them.
But do they otherwise act similar to other beasts? Placated
Well,
in similar ways?
They are like any other giant flying lizard. I realize that's perhaps an obscure frame of reference, but
Yeah. I guess then Elizabeth turns to Arya and just sort of says, "Do you reckon you could, well, you know,
work your ranger magic?
yeah, for
see why
want
not.
of a better word."
I just like the fact because it's not like Arya goes around taming things all the time.
Nope.
Yeah, but I am good at it if I would choose to.
You're good with
Yes,
animals.
and you have magic that will help.
Kind of her thing.
Yeah, you've got
Yeah.
magic that
Yeah.
helps. You're good at it anyway.
You are going
yeah.
to attempt to tame a flying prehistoric creature, but
Yes. Well,
Giant-
who
we're
doesn't
gonna
want to
try and tame a
drive a
dinosaur.
dragon, essentially?
Yeah.
not a dragon, a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's a dinosaur. Come on.
Or
What?
a dinosaur, yeah.
Dragons are basically
Come on,
dinosaurs.
there's even a fossil
with
of them in
fire.
Animal Crossing. You should know this.
Well, they're dragon adjacent.
I mean, they're slightly less dragon than a wyvern, so it depends how much of a dragon you think a wyvern is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
They're oversized pteranodons, basically.
It's fine.
They also don't have legs. Oh god, that
Anyway,
would be fucking
I think I
wild.
could tame one. I'm up for riding some dinosaurs.
Because, do you reckon, could one of them carry two of us?
It would depend which two, I think.
Well, I guess it would be.
'Cause-
It might work if it
Yeah.
was Quagrim and Arya, but I don't think you would get two full size.
Well, that's all we need. If Grim and I are on the big fucking.
Well, You know what? We can give it a go, and then if all else fails, I guess we'll have a backup plan. Hopefully.
If all else fails, see if you can find a boat.
So you could find a boat.
It's in this case a pleasure barge.
Hop in a boat. Yeah, are there not smaller boats we could borrow?
No.
Ones that were definitely not less likely to be missed.
Well, did it really? Does she really care about that boat, or is it more of a like I got it as a gift, and it's like it's my fifth one. like-
I guess that's
It's
also important.
certainly been a notable talking point for the people of the palace, but the thing is, the mistress takes this thing and comes and goes as she pleases. Nobody will question if it leaves seemingly off schedule, but if she is tied up elsewhere, then I doubt anybody would notice the fact that it was not her that took it out.
You know what? I think that will be a solid backup plan.
Yeah.
And if we do always have the emergency pop back to the material plane
yeah.
option. Hopefully before we get anyone else in trouble.
It will almost certainly raise a couple of questions, and coming back will be a lot harder, but I trust your judgment.
Well, of course.
Coming back would be. Surely we'd fly the thing back into wherever we got it from, and then we'd just vanish from the deck.
That would still probably raise a couple of questions, but
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it wouldn't put the questions back to us, and therefore back to you.
Yes, that's the hope.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully we can just
Yeah.
make do with. Honestly, the
Giant
boat sounds a
flying
lot more
lizards.
comfortable, but we'll make do.
Also, you might want to point us to a place that has lots of these crystals we need.
Yes, that was the second point I was going to get to.
Cool.
I did a little research, and truth be told, naturally occurring Ætrine is... well, it is practically mined dry, in at least the areas that I know of. However, I did learn of something very interesting. I suppose in my endless stories that I've told you, did I ever tell you a tale of General Rashar?
Did they?
It's a name that probably rings a bell, but you probably don't remember what it was about.
In that case, yeah, she just goes, name rings a bell. Must have been a while since I heard the story.
I suppose it has been quite some time. Sometimes I forget how old you are. Anyway, to cut a long story short, a once very powerful general was discontented with the current leadership of the Empire and decided that he would rather install his own leadership. He failed. But he was cast out of his fortress. And, well, perhaps that is a story I best not tell. The outcome of the general is not a pleasant story. However, I digress. His fortress, the Citadel of Golden Spires, is located within a region known as the Shining Sea, not too far from Borealis, which is where I will bring you. I think, if my research is correct, there may still be deposits of Ætrine beneath his fortress. Perhaps even within his treasury itself, there may be some that was mined but never refined. The only problem with recovering it from there is to ensure that no sympathizers of the general returned to the fortress. A great powerful being known as the Elder Tempest was gifted the citadel. Since then, it has slumbered there for a great many years. Nobody knows if the Elder Tempest still resides within the citadel, but I think it is safe to assume that such an ancient being is still going. Whilst I understand that you are all proficient warriors, tangling with the Tempest perhaps would not be advisable. If you could make it in, retrieve the Ætrine and then leave, that would be a better idea. If there is any there to begin with. Which, again, I am confident that there may at least be some left. But I can't be sure.
Guess it's better than nothing.
So yes, long story short, Shining Sea region, close to Citadel of Golden Spires. Ancient primordial elemental. Be careful.
Oh, I will be sure to be careful.
Worst case scenario, I might get something out of the primordial and Orin you taught me. Maybe.
That's they're friendly enough to talk.
Negotiation could be an option. Tempests are generally, well, you have met elementals.
Yeah.
They act on impulse and feeling. If it wakes up and decides that it is angry or discontented in any way, it may attack you without second thought, but it may wake up and simply be beguiled by curiosity. I would not like to hesitate which. I would not like to hazard a guess as to which.
So we'll try to avoid waking it up, but if it does wake up and it's not immediately trying to murder us, might as well try and chat.
Yes, negotiation as a first option, retreat probably as a second.
Yeah. Well, this is about as good as a plan as we usually get. In fact, it's probably slightly better.
Yeah, you're biased. But yes, I think we should be able to make this work. Because invisibility was an hour, right?
Yep.
Yeah, should be enough.
So, you're going to take us into the city, and we're just going to try and sneak out and find a giant flying lizard.
That sounds about right, yes.
Cool.
Right. Well, I guess the last thing I need to complete this plan is a large gold statue.
How large?
Sort of holds up a hand like roughly their own height.
That's a big gold statue.
Yay high. With platinum would also work.
That's gonna take a bit to acquire. So basically, we need a statue the size of him.
What of?
I can see to that. It'll be of Mistress Asia, of course.
Oh, this is part of the distraction.
Yes, more decadent decorations for the barge.
That's I see.
So,
Although, come to think of it, perhaps you think the statue being an illusion would be too much?
You don't want to insult her when she finds out it's.
Well, the idea is that you will never find out.
Would it be
I
worse finding
would-
out that she smuggled the? Well, no, because we'll be gone. But if she's gonna keep the statue,
Like, I guess
The statue is just a prop. The existence of the statue does not need to necessarily be a talking point or anything. It is simply a reason for you to accompany me in my departure.
Okay.
In fact, perhaps I'm thinking myself into too grand a scheme here. The statue was just an idea. We need a reason for me to be present with a number of royal guards. That is all we need. In my mind,
think
it was
we-
something for the barge, so that you had an excuse to leave and go directly to the barge.
but no, we
Doesn't
don't-
sound like
we
a
don't
terrible
necessarily go to the barge.
If you think not going to the barge is a better idea, then we have only need of a reason why you would be there with me in the first place.
But that said, could we just I don't want to sound cheap, but a massive solid gold statue would be expensive, very expensive. Could we just do like an iron core or something? Maybe, I don't know if iron is the best option.
You mean a gold-plated statue?
Yeah,
Rather
but
than a
like
gold statue.
there's a slightly thicker layer of plating. But essentially, yes.
I mean, it could
I don't know.
it could in theory be practical. I am now just simply thinking of the logistics of moving said statue to the barge.
Oh yeah, we might need more than.
You know what? Perhaps
Yeah.
let us scrap the statue idea. I think I got a little ahead of myself.
Okay,
But
so
what
we
are
just
the-
need.
what are the
Grand
usual reasons-
deceptions are not my strong suit.
What are the usual reasons you leave?
Well, I am a vizier and a diplomat. I go to other places to discover information and talk to other people, but usually in doing so I bring back gifts. Djinni politics is a lot of it is about give and take.
Well, I guess it's like you can easily find a reason to be there, but the problem is we need to figure out why we are there. Such was an
And more
idea,
importantly, we need a reason for you to not be told to immediately go somewhere else. If you are royal guard, then no one will question you if you are on a specific assignment. But if you are not on a specific assignment, then they will just order you to go somewhere else, and it will be suspicious if you do not do that. So we need a reason for you to be there, and then a reason for you to immediately leave.
Well, all we need to know is what is just a generic guard thing that they would do outside, or like that they'd have to leave for. Because are there any jobs outside the castle? Because that doesn't seem like a royal guard kind of job.
That is...
Because I don't know, but what is outside the castle? Let's start with that.
Well, there is the city of Borealis.
There's a city. That's a good start.
Yes, the palace is situated essentially at the heart of Borealis.
Okay. So, something in a city that we send a guard to get. Could you have... Oh, well, this is a terrible idea, isn't it? Could you be sending out an escort to a diplomat, or maybe that's not the right thing.
No, but then why would I be coming back?
Well, perhaps
I have it.
Perhaps. Yep.
A hunt.
A hunt. Do the guard hunt?
The guard do not hunt, no. But in my role as a diplomat, I may arrange such an event. A diplomatic engagement between the Mistress Aisha and a suitor or some other significant diplomatic entity. A hunt would be a conversation on neutral ground. It would be unconventional, but they would have no reason to doubt it.
So you could be going out as like setting up a hunt? And that would be reason to take guards with you?
Well, I would not. I would not be coming with you. I would be sending you. It would be. So when we return to the palace, it will be only moments before the council assigned to monitor the comings and goings of individuals within the palace will arrive, and they will question me. The deception only needs to last a few moments while I am there giving you an order, and then they arrive and they say, "What are you doing?" And I will say, "Well, I am sending people out on a hunt." And they will say, "No, you cannot do that. You must come with me." You will then just depart the room, going about your business. This whole deception relies on there being so many things that are just slightly unusual that it works.
There is one thing that we should probably establish before we get there. If we're going to go for a hunt, we should probably know where the exit is when we come in. Because if we start walking the wrong way instantly...
I assume that's what the, the time before they arrive is for.
Well, yes, but I will try to bring... Well, I will do my best to bring us into the grand lobby, which will... Essentially, when you arrive in the grand lobby, there will be 4 sets of grand double doors. When I'm talking to you, I will gesture in the direction of said doors.
Okay. As the guard, do we get asked any questions?
Not that I would expect. You might be talked to brief. That is a problem I had not considered.
Well,
They
if
will
we
try
can-
to converse with you in Oran.
Most of us can't understand that, or speak it for that matter.
Could let me do the talking.
That is true. I could disguise you as the leader of a contingent. Then they would
and
not
then
expect anyone to talk but the one who is in command.
I have.
That is good thinking.
Are you sure you're up for this responsibility? I don't want. It's not because I don't believe in you, but we've had attempts in the past.
I can be authoritative when I need to be.
It's less about the authoritative part.
Well,
Just-
you'll do your best. I believe.
It's better overall if the key talking is kept to a minimum. That way they don't ask you things that you can't possibly know.
Oh yeah,
Like-
I'm usually good at cutting conversations short.
The noise was in character.
Yeah. Arya looks incredulous.
Hey, you guys just haven't seen it because I'm not usually in the situations where I stop talking around you guys.
I think we've been in situations. Well, let's not dig up old.
Okay. And then there's one second thing that I think might be important.
Shoot.
A generic location for the hunt. Because if they're gonna ask, they might ask where are we gonna, where it is. And if we can't say anything, like just any location that it could possibly be, it doesn't have to be the location, but considering
Well,
we know nothing about the local area.
I suppose. I mean, you could say truthfully. You could say the Shining Sea. That
Shining. Well, that will do. We just needed to know that that was a, like sometimes if you say, "Oh, we're going to go on a hunt," and we were told you the Shining Sea, we might look like dumbasses. But if that's a valid location, then that will do.
Well, yes, I suppose. Yeah, you would have no way of knowing that with no knowledge of the plane of air. To explain, the Shining Sea is a region of air. It is open space with a handful of islands.
Then that will. I guess that will do for a hunt. And if they contest, then we say, well, that's the orders. Orders are orders.
We're just following orders.
I think that. Any other problems that anybody can foresee? Us getting talked to, we've kind of got covered. Where we're headed, what we're doing. Those are basically the big three.
Oh, how long will the illusion last for us? Sorry, I may have missed that if it was said.
You will have about 8 hours.
Oh, okay. It was way longer than I thought it was gonna be.
Plenty of time to leave Borealis.
Well, yeah, we have less because, well, at least within the hour, we need to be out of the palace. Preferably out of the city.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
then I'll be.
The problem is not in the solidity of the illusion. It is in the fact that you will be complete strangers in a location, and they will no doubt ask questions of you in a language you do not understand. And the longer you wait around where people are, the more likely you are to arouse suspicion.
Well, if we are guards, or if we look like guards at the very least, if there's anything that I've learned is, if you look like you're trying to get somewhere, doing it with a purpose, people are less likely to bother you.
That was my thinking.
I would agree. Considering there's security on the palace, we will have no problem exiting, right?
Exiting should be easy, yes.
Okay. Well,
Getting
and,
in
like,
is usually the difficult part.
like, we don't care about getting in.
If you leave by the main gate, I do not expect anyone will question you.
Good. Well, I guess there's only one thing that we should probably consider before we go, but it's more a supply thing. Those flying creatures, we're gonna need to make saddle-like things, like maybe with some rope or something. I think we have enough rope, and maybe some cloth.
Honestly, fresh meat would be a good thing to bring.
Fresh meat, that's a good one.
They are nothing if not hungry.
They're like fish.
I don't think you get fish in the air.
No, it is not as ridiculous as you might think. I suppose what they hunt is... Well, I have never eaten it, but I suppose it would not be too dissimilar from fish?
Well, it's because we're near a fish market, essentially.
I suppose it would more be like an eel, but subject. They will eat pretty much anything.
Well, we'll get them some eel and some
Like
meat,
pigeons.
and then I think we're pretty much ready to go.
I have seen them eat pastries off windows.
Oh, then it will be fine.
Wow, they really are like pigeons then.
I think crows more than pigeons. But
Pigeons will eat pretty much anything.
yeah, but I think crows are more of that sort, or seagulls actually.
More bold.
The difference between the Quetzalcoatl and your birds is that when one of them jams its head through your window, it is a lot more difficult to get a Quetzalcoatl out over the window.
Pigeons do usually fly away if you get too close to them.
Fortunately, we have developed wards and other methods of keeping them out, but down in the city they still can be an annoyance.
I can respect that sort of boldness, though.
You've never met seagulls.
Kelariis has.
Oh no, yeah, that's true.
Elizabeth probably also has. Probably slightly less.
Well,
but
I
still
think.
some.
Well, were you ready to bring us?
If you're ready, then I am ready.
Is the
Well-
market still open?
Don't you, why wouldn't it?
It's middle of the day.
If you give us like maybe 10 minutes, then we'll have fresh meat and fish, and maybe even eel.
I will wait here.
I guess Grim will rush to the marketplace.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Deduct a handful of silver, like 3 silver, and you can grab an assortment of just random fish.
we'll have a good amount of that stuff.
I was always looking forward to the day that I could finally go to the elemental plane of air, but I never expected it would be under circumstances like this.
Well, afterwards, well, you will discuss that later. The details of ever returning. But it should be a lot easier.
Khadija just sort of like places a hand on your shoulder and says, "I'm sorry it could not be under better conditions, but..."
I'm not upset or anything. It just means later I'll have to come back under happier situations.
About that.
Oh.
I would not advise it.
Yeah, true.
Your heritage, they will ask questions. And if you cannot give them a satisfactory answer, then it could cause problems. And believe me, knowing that you are connected to me would be more trouble than even if you were to tell them you didn't know.
I guess I just won't go near the city. There's plenty of the rest of the plane, right?
There is a strained smile. Just be safe.
Oh well. Promise.
Good. And with that, we will take a short break.